All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the razor's edge of financial ethics, all through the lens of the incredible 2011 film Margin Call. What happens when just a handful of people have to decide whether to save their company by knowingly crashing the world economy?
It all kicks off with these three simple words. A cryptic warning on a USB drive passed from a guy who has just been fired.
Because what's on that drive isn't just a bunch of data, it's a ticking time bomb. And that's where the film Margin Call comes in. It gives us this fictionalized but oh so real front row seat to the ethical chaos at the very heart of the 2008 financial crisis, all playing out over one incredibly tense 24-hour period. So it all begins with a character named Eric Dale. He's a risk manager who just got the axe, and on his way out the door, he hands off that one last urgent warning to his junior colleague, a brilliant young analyst named Peter Sullivan. So Sullivan stays late, right? He opens up Dale's unfinished model, and what he finds is just terrifying. The really complex financial products the company has built its entire fortune on, they're based on a catastrophic miscalculation. The firm's whole foundation is about to just crumble. And the scale of this thing is just staggering. This isn't just a bad quarter. The projected losses are actually greater than the entire market value of the company. It is quite literally a corporate extinction-level event. This discovery triggers a frantic, middle-of-the-night crisis call that goes all the way to the top. The CEO, John Told, gets flown in by helicopter, and the moment he walks in, he uses this kind of sharp, cutting sarcasm to completely control the room and set the stage for the insane decision that's about to be made. And this, right here, is where we get to the absolute heart of the film. It brilliantly lays out this fundamental clash of ethics. Our sources frame the entire crisis as this battle between two completely different moral universes. So you've got these two sides, right? On one side, you have the worldview of CEO John Talt, which is all about pure instinct and self-preservation. On the other, you have the world of Sam Rogers, the head of sales, which is built on what our sources call social morality, this belief in trust and long-term relationships. And these two frameworks, they're just completely incompatible. So this is that classic, survival of the fittest mindset that Told just embodies perfectly. It's a worldview totally focused on personal profit, short-term game, and loyalty only to your tiny inner circle. Everyone else, they're just an opponent in the game. And then you have the world that Sam Rogers, who's played by Kevin Spacey, believes he's living in. It's a world where your reputation actually matters, where mutual trust is the foundation of your business, and where you feel a sense of responsibility to the financial system as a whole. So, the firm is staring down the barrel of total collapse. They have to make a choice. And in a pressure cooker like this, well, it's pretty clear which worldview is going to win out. Told's instinctive morality takes over immediately. Told lays out his brutally simple business philosophy. He says there are three ways to make a living in this business: be first, be smarter, or cheat. Well, they can't be smarter, and they don't want to cheat, so they have to be first. First, to sell off every last one of their toxic assets before the rest of the market has any clue what's about to hit them. And Sam Rogers, he's our voice of that social morality. And he just gets it instantly. He sees the fallout. This isn't just about saving the firm. It's about setting off a bomb in the heart of the financial world, knowingly selling worthless junk to people who trust them. But Told's response? It's just ice cold. It's purely logical from his point of view. He completely dismisses the long-term damage. All that matters is survival, right here, right now. The greater good is not even on his radar. And let's be clear, this decision was not victimless. To pull this off, careers are torched, a senior manager is served up as a scapegoat to keep the board happy, and the very guy who found the problem is paid a fortune to just disappear for 24 hours. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just a story in a movie, right? This is a direct reflection of real-world events that impacted millions of people. Yeah, Margin Call is not just fiction. It's a super thinly veiled retelling of the collapse of Lehman Brothers. I mean, the parallels are they're impossible to miss. From the risky bets on mortgage-backed securities all the way to the CEO, John Told, being a clear stand-in for Lehman's own CEO, Richard Fuld. And, the film didn't happen in a vacuum. It was part of this huge cultural conversation happening at the time. After 2008, there was this wave of analysis, documentaries, books, you name it, everyone trying to figure out how the global financial system could so spectacularly blow itself up. And what's really interesting is that, well, before 2008, you had other films and books that had already pointed out what they saw as this pathological pursuit of profit at the core of modern finance. Margin call was like the crisis finally confirming a diagnosis that had been made years earlier. So, where does that leave us? What have we learned? Has anything actually changed since 2008? Well, the conclusion from our sources is kind of sobering. Just listen to this insight from a former international investor, Rainer Voss. It echoes the film's message perfectly. The problem isn't just a few bad apples. The problem is a system where self-interest and big money are so tangled up that real, fundamental change is almost impossible. And this really gets to the heart of it, the core diagnosis. The system itself is designed to reward that exact instinctive morality that led to the crisis. It's built to promote people like Tuld and push aside people like Rogers. It's a feature, not a bug. You know, at the end of it all, after all the chaos, Tuld's final words to Sam just capture this chilling cynicism. He sees the whole thing as just a game, a cycle of boom and bust, of winners and losers, that is simply an unavoidable part of human nature and the markets. And that leaves us with a really critical question. If the film's diagnosis is right, if the system really is designed to repeat its own mistakes, are we all just waiting for the music to stop again? And when it does, who's going to be left without a chair?